Students, how are you all? Welcome in this class. Students, today we will start a new chapter, and that is air and atmosphere. This one is air and atmosphere. Now, students, you know that air is made up of many gases. So here in this chapter you will study about the air and its composition, then carbon dioxide, oxygen, other components of air quality and acid rain. Now first heading is air and its composition. So here we know that air is a gas, and for a long time people thought that air was just a single gas, but it has now been proved that it is not a single gas, but air is a mixture of many gases. Okay, air is a mixture of many gases, and the major component of air, that is nitrogen gas. Almost 4/5 of air is nitrogen gas, and the second major component of air is oxygen gas. About 1/5 of air is oxygen gas, and in addition to nitrogen, oxygen gas, air also contains small amount of carbon dioxide gas, that is 0.03%, and water vapor and some other gases like helium, neon, argon, etc. Now the air may also contain some dust particles. We know that describe the composition of air as follows. So here you are seeing that 78% of nitrogen and 21% of oxygen is there, and now some dust particles may also present in air, and the components can be written here. So here composition of air is given. So 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, carbon dioxide, water and other gases and dust particles, they contains only 1%. Now the composition of air is not always exactly the same, but the composition of air changes slightly from place to place and season to season. For example, the air in coastal areas may have more water vapor than inland areas, and the air over industrial cities usually has a higher amount of carbon dioxide in it than the air over open space, and the concentration of water vapor will be more in rainy season in comparison to another seasons. Okay, let's do an experiment, and its aim is to demonstrate that air is a mixture of gases. You will take a glass trough, water, caustic soda, ink, metallic block, candle and large gas jar. Here procedure: you will take a glass trough and fill it about 1/3 with water and dissolve a teaspoonful of caustic soda. Now add few drops of ink. Now place the metallic block in the water and fix a candle on it. When you will light the candle and cover the lighted candle with the gas jar, then you will start the observation, and you will find that in first trough, here observation, the candle continues burning as long as it is not covered with gas jar. It goes off in a very short time as soon as it is covered with gas jar. Okay, so when this gas jar is covered, it will goes off, and the color water, that is the colored water here, that will rise up. See here, this water level is rise up here in the bottle when the candle goes off. So what is that? Actually inference is that the candle continues burning as long as it is not covered, because the oxygen of air is continuously available to the candle of burning, and the water rises up in the bottle because oxygen of air is used in the burning process, and the carbon dioxide formed at the result of burning is absorbed by the caustic soda, that solution, and then it creates a vacuum in the gas jar that causes water to rise up, and nitrogen is the major part of air which is not used up by burning candles and it does not support the burning, therefore it is still present in the bottle. So this experiment, it proves that there are many gases. Okay, now air, you know that amount of air is amount of different composition, so different substances that are differ from season to season, and similarly the amount of dust in the air is more in windy places than other areas, and we will now discuss the various components of the air. So at first, nitrogen, you know that nitrogen is a colorless, tasteless and odorless gas. This nitrogen gas present in air is important for living things, and all living things need nitrogen. You know, all living things need nitrogen and compound of and nitrogen compounds. Why? For their growth. Actually, since it is present in protein, so it is important for the growth, and the plants used nitrogen gas of the air to make proteins. These proteins are used by the plants for their own growth as well as for the growth of human being and other animals. Now, importance and uses of nitrogen. So nitrogen dilutes the activity of oxygen, thus combustion of fuel takes place at a moderate rate. And second is, living organisms cannot directly use nitrogen from air. Animals get nitrogen from the food they eat, and the compounds of nitrogen helps plants to manufacture protein. Since free nitrogen cannot be absorbed by the plant, and it first get converted into compounds by the following natural method. So here nitrogen, when it react with oxygen, makes the nitric oxide. Now this nitric oxide further react with oxygen to form the nitrogen dioxide, and the nitrogen dioxide gas, after reaction of oxygen again with the water, will form the nitric acid, and during rain the dilute nitric acid washes down to the earth, where it further reacts with the carbonates to form soil nitrates. So when this CaCO3, that is calcium carbonate, react with nitric acid to form the calcium nitrate and then carbon dioxide and water. The soil nitrates which are formed acts as a excellent source of food for the plants. And in many leguminous plants like peas, pulses and beans, they have nitrogen fixing bacteria like Rhizobium leguminosarum are present in their root nodules. These bacteria absorb the nitrogen. After absorbing the nitrogen from the air, they convert it into nitrogenous compound, and plants use the nitrogen compound for the manufacturing of protein. Third one is, nitrogen is an inert gas. This means that is less reactive in nature, thus it is used in food preservation. It is very important function of nitrogen. It is used in food preservation. And next is carbon dioxide. So you know that 0.03% of air is carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide is colorless and odorless gas. So the amount of carbon dioxide in air is comparatively very small, but it is very important component of air. Now, importance and uses of carbon dioxide here. So carbon dioxide, it maintains the Earth's temperature by trapping some amount of heat radiations coming from the sun, and this is known as greenhouse effect. Okay, so what is greenhouse effect? So these lines are important for the greenhouse effect, and it helps to maintain an optimum temperature on the earth to make our survival possible. And all living things give out carbon dioxide during the breathing, and usually this released carbon dioxide is absorbed by the green plants during the photosynthesis. However, indiscriminate cutting of trees, burning of fossil fuels, and rapidly growing factories production, and it produce carbon dioxide as faster rate. All these activities cause increase in the level of carbon dioxide on the earth, and the rapidly increment of carbon dioxide that causes the global warming. Now carbon dioxide, it is used as the fire extinguisher, and plants and animals, so animal matters and plant matters burns by consuming oxygen from air and produces mainly carbon dioxide and few other gases. If some materials is burning in closed room, we feel suffocated due to the accumulation of carbon monoxide, that is CO. Now the plants which live in water use the carbon dioxide dissolved in the water for their needs. Now next is oxygen. So students, that's all for today. In our next session we will talk about the oxygen. Till then,